The new Marechaussee artifact set is actually very interesting to me, and in my opinion holds a lot of potential. Every region has their very own OP artifact domain, like Sumeru's Gilded Dreams domain and Inazuma's Emblem domain, and maybe you could say Mondstadt's Veridescent Vendor domain. So you can see there's a trend here with each region having a really strong artifact domain. So is this Fontaine's OP artifact domain? Well, right now you might think that it really isn't. The two artifact sets that it has are Golden Troupe and Marechaussee Hunter. Golden Troupe is a good artifact set, but it's only really good for Official and Yaemiko right now, and a few others. But the set I want to talk about right now is the Marechaussee Hunter set, which currently is only the best in slot for Lyney, and I guess Xiao can also use it pretty well, but I think it holds a lot more value. Right off the bat, when I first saw the artifact set and I saw the 4-piece giving crit rate, I thought this was going to be a very strong artifact set like Blizzard's Rare. But unfortunately, the way you get this crit rate is only by changing your HP value, which, well, all characters can technically do, but not efficiently. Lyney and Xiao are the only ones that can do it very consistently. Hu Tao can also decrease her HP, but only once, so you wouldn't get the complete effect of 36% crit rate. But what you can do is use teams that allow you to use this artifact set. So you can use things like reactions or healers that, you reduce the amount of healing they give, so it would take more amount of ticks to heal. So your HP value changes a lot more, so you proc this effect more and get more stacks. And you can even use different weapons. So yeah, there are a few ways to get the set to work for other characters. So it is possible, but is it worth it? Okay, let's see for Hu Tao first. So you can use this set on Hu Tao, and let's say if you're using Hu Tao alone without anything, just a pure Hu Tao, you would get at least 1 stack every rotation, which is 12% crit rate, which is not a lot. But you can use someone like Bennett to heal Hu Tao whenever she does use her skill to go back up to 70%. If your Bennett heals a lot, you may get 2 stacks, but if he doesn't heal a lot, so you don't give him an HP flower, let's say, then he will have to heal her twice. So like there'll be 2 ticks, which means she will get 3 stacks, which is pretty good. That's 36% crit rate, which is a lot of crit rate, and you can then focus on building crit damage. And yeah, she does pretty well. Though I still think at this moment that Crimson or the other sets would probably still be better because it's still not very consistent on average. You're probably going to get like 2 stacks, but it's still pretty good. Then what I've also tried is using Burgeon Hu Tao, which I'm honestly very happy with. When I tried her usual build and then Hu Tao Burgeon with this artifact set, I was consistently getting 3 stacks, good Burgeon damage, and just good Hu Tao damage. And even though Hu Tao was without shields, I did ask a few people and they said that the biggest issue would be that you're running Hu Tao without shields, which I thought would be a problem. But Bennett was good enough to make sure the team doesn't die. Like, you don't need to remove the HP flower on this build because right now the HP value is getting decreased by your seeds. Ideally, you would want to use something like Prototype Amber on Nahida or something else to heal Hu Tao and not use Bennett here, and instead use Yilan and Xingqiu to get the most damage out of this team. But I just wanted to get something working with Hu Tao to get consistent 3 stacks. Now imagine this, like I had to use Burgeon Hu Tao and do a few things, but imagine this, setup, but with a character that is built to reduce your other character's HP. So you don't have to do other things that I had to do to get the 3 stacks. So you can see that this set can be very good, even in its current state. As you can see, I got Hu Tao to work with it, but in the future, I just think it holds a lot of potential. And maybe we might get a character that can reduce other character HP. If you saw the Hydro Traveler, the way he was working was a bit weird. Like when you use a skill, his HP would be reduced. So I just feel like there might be a character that might affect other characters or might affect their own HP, like Xiao, that can use a set and can be really OP for them. So I just did a small comparison with Hu Tao. So as you can see right now, these are just rough calculations, of course. It's not going to be the same for everyone. I just wanted to make a small comparison. I just basically gave the Marechaussee set 72% more crit damage to simulate the 32% crit rate, which you would exchange for the crit damage. And as you can see, it does pretty well. Now, on my Marechaussee set, I had more EM, so this distance might be a bit closer than it shows. But as you can see, it is par with the Crimson Witch set. Now, using the same technique, basically using Burgeon, we can make other characters use this set. Like Ayato, which can really benefit from the set because of the 2-piece bonus, the normal attack and charge attack. And Ayato Burgeon teams can, allow him to consistently have 3 sacks. Now, I don't have Ayato unfortunately, but I'll show you the same thing, but with Childe Burgeon, which honestly is one of my favorite teams. So here too, you can use this set on him, and you don't have to build EM on him because here, he's not the one that's gonna be doing the Burgeon. It's gonna be Kazuha. So you just build them normally how you would, with any other set. The 36% crit rate just makes it really viable, as almost all DPS characters do require crit rate. One thing though for Childe is that the 2-piece isn't that great for him because it doesn't affect your burst, which is a large portion of Childe's damage that would otherwise be buffed by the other artifact sets like the 2-piece attack and 2-piece hydro. Basically, what I wanted to prove was that this set has a lot of potential in the future. If, let's say, there is a character that can reduce your party's HP, then you could potentially just farm this domain, get a good set, and just use it on any DPS character that uses normal attack and charge attacks, which there are a lot of already, and slap this artifact set on them. Now, yes, there might be better options, like sets made for them will of course be better, but even then, the 36% crit rate is a huge bonus that any DPS would love to get, and would be good enough. Like, okay, there might be some exceptions, but I think it should be good enough to just use that set over their personal best slots, and you wouldn't be that disappointed. Meaning you could probably just farm this set and not care about the other sets, making this very resin efficient. But the 4-piece isn't everything this artifact set has to offer. Its 2-piece is something new and gives normal and charge attack damage, which can be put on characters and basically is another choice you have when you're making characters that use 2-piece sets. You need to consider the other sets though. For example, on Childe, as I said before, even though he does use both normal and charge attacks, the other 2-piece would be better because you're not going to be buffing his burst with this 2-piece, which is a large portion of his damage. But for someone like Wanderer or Yoimiya, it can work. Let me show you the difference using Wanderer. So I'll be using 2-piece Animo and 2-piece attack versus 2-piece Animo and the 2-piece Marechaussee artifact set. So you'll see that the Marechaussee set will be very close when it's to do with normal charge attacks, but in the burst section it's going to do a lot worse because, well, 2-piece doesn't affect your burst damage and only affects your normal and charge attacks. So in the end, I just really think that this is a very underrated artifact set that in the future could potentially be very strong and even now holds some value for certain characters and opens up a few interesting teams that you can play to enable this artifact set. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about this set. Anyways, that's all I had for this video. I hope this helped and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!